On three, call open.
F you. 4, 3.
You see how we act on set? It's a family show.
It is a family show.
Well, you are in the big grown woman chair.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I said I wasn't going to say big because I don't want anyone to get offended. But it's a grown woman chair.
Yes, it is.
Look at you like, look. She's here on set.
I am. I just came back from Vegas, but I brought a cold back.
Okay.
Even though they say when you go to Vegas, everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not this time.
So how was that? Because you were celebrating with your son.
21st birthday.
In the music studio.
Yes.
Wow, he got a hit coming out.
He does have a hit coming out. It's coming out in about a week. I'm going to keep y'all posted.
We'll have to have him perform on the show.
Yes, we should.
But first, coffee.
Mocha in the Morning is brought to you by Bill Curry Ford.
You're watching Mocha in the Morning, presented by Bill Curry Ford. And in the grown woman chair, I have Jen Dobson. She's gonna like hit it with the steamers with me and piping hot. But it's so nice to have you like here.
Thank you.
In person
so
again.
Great to be back.
I know. Are you ready for some steamers?
I'm ready for some steamers.
All right, because these are bubbling up, bubbling up.
Oh, good.
This is so funny. Courtesy of our producer, it's Revenge of the BLERDS. Is that for real, the BLERDS? And that is the Howard debate team beat the Harvard debate team again.
Yes, they did.
So tell me, like, have you ever been like on the debate team?
I love debate. I've always loved debate. I was in debate in high school, and I'm all for it. Do you remember that old movie with, Sexy Denzel? He did the debate movie. Look, I've always loved debate.
I think it's funny though, like, you know, Harvard is supposed to be like creme de la creme, like at the top.
Right.
Meanwhile, like, this is 2 in a row now.
Right.
I mean, y'all need to tighten up. Don't let them make it 3.
Look, they will.
Come on, Howard, pull it through.
Yeah.
Anyways, they are the great debaters.
Yes. That was the movie.
Yeah, I know, right? And also, it's the Train Awards.
Yes.
That's coming up.
I know, I saw.
I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
I always like watching the Soul Train Awards.
You know, it's funny, I never watched the Soul Train Awards.
Why?
I don't know. I just like, Soul Train reminds me of like my parents watching it back in the day. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of old school.
Every time you at a dance or somewhere at the club or whatever, there always has to be like that Soul Train line.
I love the Soul Train line though.
I just know there's going to be a lot of stuff and shenanigans, so I can't wait to come back next week and tell you about everything that happened on the Soul Train Awards.
Yes, it's going to be nice.
I'll be so ready we can go.
Ooh.
But we do have to go right now.
Yeah.
And that's the break.
Yes.
Because we have piping hot topics coming up next. Mocha in the Morning is brought to you in part by the Portico Cafe, where conversation, connection, and community create change.
We are back with Piping Hot Topics, and we have our girl Kia. Hi, boo.
Hi, guys. What's up? I'm so excited to get this election talk started. Yay.
Oh, I know. And that's the first thing you want to talk about.
She about to slam a few people. I can see it coming.
Well, it was quite a night. And it just seems like every year there's like an election. But there were some results that I don't know if it's like a prediction of what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
Starting with Kentucky.
Ooh,
Mitch
Kentucky.
McConnell, oh no, that's one turkey that I think is going to get gobbled up.
Yes, most definitely. What do you think, Kian? You got to tell us all about it.
It's a lot of stuff going on right now. So there is the Bashir versus Bevin in Kentucky situation. Bashir, who's a Democrat, actually won the gubernatorial race, but the other guy, Bevin, will not concede. He's actually just saying, you know what, I want to be the squeaky wheel. I want to see how it ends, and I want every vote to be counted down to the last little one. So even though it looks like Bashir actually won, Bevin is not giving it up. And if Bashir is said to be the winner of the race, he's the first Democratic governor in, I think, 20-something years, 25 years. It's been a really, really long time.
And then let's talk about the first attorney, black general, Daniel Cameron Oster, and that was for Kentucky as well.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And you know what? I'm going to give a special shout out to my husband's hometown of Scranton, who just elected their very first female mayor.
What?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
Scranton.
know. Look at Scranton. All
Yes.
right. Anyways, what do you
Yeah,
think,
it's
Jen? Do
been
you think,
amazing.
I mean, the more and more we see, and he is a black Republican, right? The Attorney
Yeah.
General?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
that's
black
very
Republican.
interesting.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about
Very
that,
nice to see
Kia?
Black Republicans. Black Republicans who aren't Trump supporters actually making a name and a voice for themselves. So.
Right.
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 No, the thing is, there's so many different elections that are coming up now, again, in the following year.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like we see what's happening in front of us, like, every day,
Yeah.
but then the polls are starting to send out a different message. I mean,
It is. I agree. Like I felt like this election year was going to be really rough for us, after, our current president. But we're seeing the tide turning. We're seeing more women, we're seeing more blacks and minorities. So I think as we go into next year, we might see some pretty big changes. So
Yeah.
you don't know.
Well, here's another minority report. That's almost kind of, I don't know what to think of this. But Solange has said so long
Oh my
to
God.
her man.
Well, look, I didn't even know she was married until the last time we had this show. So I didn't care. I was like, oh wait, that's right, she was married.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
was
mean-
like,
What do you think, Kia?
See, Solange kind of works my last nerve, and let me tell you why. This whole earthy vibe that she has going, she's even making, getting divorced a spiritual thing that every woman needs to try. Like, I think it's hilarious how she even cheated. Apparently, she cheated on her husband because they're not legally divorced, and she's making it seem like, well, we just weren't two hearts floating on the same ocean, and we just didn't feel spiritually connected, and our souls weren't vibing. Like, girl, you cheated. You're getting a divorce. That's very
well, the
simple.
thing is, like, obviously they were not like in the same ocean because she was rocking the boat
Ooh.
with apparently like her manager.
What?
Yeah, according to Us Magazine and Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
He was her manager?
So I don't know. I'm just
Wait,
we're
was
just
he was her
here
manager?
to report the news. I'm not saying that's what happened. And he's
Okay.
a white man.
Jorge, can I say this real quick? Jorge, have we all not seen that when your husband's your manager, it never works out? Can we name one couple where the husband was the manager and it actually worked out in favor? Look at
I
Mary.
can't think of any.
Marrying, yeah, and
Yeah.
she's just
Look
married.
at Wendy Williams.
Oh, yeah.
She got a list.
Yeah.
I don't have a list.
And
honey. I have a
wasn't
list.
Janet
Look at Monique. Look at
married to
Monique.
her manager
Oh,
back in the
Renee.
day?
I mean, yeah, and that was a secret.
Right.
Don't do it, ladies.
Yeah.
Get a proper business manager who you are not rocking the
Who
boat
was
with.
it that just got married to like their manager or somebody that works for them? Who was that? Lil Kim or one of those?
I don't know.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I don't want no one work for. Anyways, I really want to skip over the next topic because I really want to talk about this. It's a sad situation. It's a very sad situation. So, the Popeye chicken sandwich is back.
Right.
And a lot of people are very happy, but it's also become a deadly sandwich to reckon with.
Just
there was a man who was, seriously, go to HuffPost and it'll tell you right there that there was a man who was fatally stabbed over like the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Who's
Now,
going to jail for chicken? I mean, come on.
I've had the regular and the spicy,
Yeah.
but it's just not worth being stabbed over.
No. I had it back when it first came out. I thought it was great, but not to the point of A, standing in line, or B, getting stabbed. No, it's not that serious.
Kia, do you love anything so much that you're willing to stab somebody for it?
Not anything that I would say on this TV show that my mom watches. But, I mean, just to give a little bit of background, I mean, it all started from a fight that happened inside the store because the guy cut the line in front of somebody else while waiting for either a chicken sandwich or just get regular chicken. He was then stabbed repeatedly in the parking lot outside of the Popeyes. Though I commend Popeyes for their marketing strategy because what they've done has been next level awesome. But there have been videos of people fighting over this chicken sandwich. You go on YouTube and type in Popeyes fight. It's all these fights of people fighting at Popeyes over a chicken sandwich. There was a video of a girl who wrecked her car jumping a curb just to get in line for a chicken sandwich. I mean, this is a little crazy. Right? Am I right?
It's going too far. It's like they're on crack or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, I did personally wait in line for 45 minutes to get my sandwich. And, everybody was, very just like kind or cordial. And, the manager gave away some sandwiches to a kid who wanted to have sandwiches for his 16th birthday.
So you didn't get yours in the hood then, I'm guessing.
But here's the problem with this. It's all about the viral moment, it seems like. Everybody just wants to get the sandwich, take a picture of them eating the sandwich and post it on Instagram and social media to say, I ate the chicken sandwich. Go to Chick-fil-A and just say, ooh, look, I got a Popeye's chicken sandwich. It'll do the same thing, I promise you. No one will know the difference.
It don't look the same.
See, y'all be the ones in line for 45 minutes about to stab somebody over a chicken sandwich.
Well, first of all, the Chick-fil-A line is just as long. I went there yesterday, okay? I was like, why is it taking me 45 minutes to get a chicken and some fries? Like, this is ridiculous.
Well, we can talk about Chick-fil-A some other time when we have more time. But
Right.
Since we are talking about Chick-fil-A, let's bring up Pete Buttigieg.
Oh,
Right?
yes,
And
yes.
this is what I think is interesting. So this is an article that was posted in the New York Times, and I also was watching CNN. And apparently, South Carolina, black voters, it's like a thing, right? It's just kind of like when people think of Iowa and the elections, right? Well, South Carolina, black voters is a thing. But it seems like seems to be like this talking point that's growing in popularity that black voters are not really, and older black voters are not really open, or ready to vote for someone who is gay. Right? And, I think it just, first of all, like, I'm not a big fan of Pete, because I'm just not the kind of person who says, oh, he's a gay man, default, I'm voting for the gay man. I'm like, no, it just, for me, it doesn't work that way. But I thought it was interesting how this is becoming a talking point that you're starting to hear a lot, that the black community is not willing to support someone who is gay.
Right, and that doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's a lot of conversations that we see on social media all the time where you see the black community not being in favor of gay or lesbian people, especially gay men. And it's a big issue within the community. It's something that they just haven't been able to wrap their minds around. So I'm not surprised that even in the voting environment, they're still having some type of issue with this. So it's unfortunate, but it's something that we'll have to work on changing.
Kia, do you see, and it being a black Republican, okay, so now we're really breaking it down. What's your take on this particular talking point or this angle, or this story basically about black voters not
absolutely. When it comes to, not to put on my serious voice, when it comes to voters, especially older African American voters, they're very visual. Pete Buttigieg looks like a boy you would tell to get off your lawn. Like, he looks so young and childlike. Like, that's why I feel like that's a real reason him being gay seems like a scapegoat, but I feel like if he was older, maybe more seasoned, maybe more political, people wouldn't have as much issue as they have with him just being young, unseasoned. It's just the gay thing is just one more thing to pile on top of what he just lacks in just seasonedness. He needs some more Lowry's and a little bit more adobo before he hops out here in this political race.
Well, I think also part of it too is that I find it unfair that that's like a talking point, because the thing is, there is prejudice and discrimination in every culture group, in every race. Right. So I think if you're going to talk about, oh, I don't think black voters, you know, are going to be able to vote for someone who's gay, well then at the same time, let's balance that conversation, because you can say the same thing about white voters,
yes, absolutely.
Latino voters,
absolutely.
Asian voters. Yeah. You know, it's just not, you know, just to put black voters in a corner and say, right. oh, we don't think, you know, they're going to go for him. Okay, but, you know, I think across the board, right. you know, like every other group you can say the same thing about. Right. So that's the one thing that I kind of think it's kind of unbalanced about that conversation. It's a talking point, but it's a talking point that is across the board, period. The same as, will you vote for a woman? Will you vote for an Asian person? Will you vote for, you know...
openly a Muslim person.
Exactly, yeah. I just think it's unfair that it's just like, oh, it's black voters are not going to vote because he's gay. Yep. You know, it's sending the wrong message out there, kind of thing. It kind of gives everyone like a free pass. Ooh, they didn't talk about us. Woo! You know what I mean?
It's true.
Anyway, yeah.
I agree.
So, moving right along in the popping hot topics, talk about black cinema. Just, I mean, nonstop, wonderful content coming out, super fabulous movies. We talked about Harriet in the Mocha Minute last week. We have American Son. I mean, this is like a glow up in Hollywood.
Absolutely. Oh, did you see American Son?
No, but I did see a couple of previews, and like, it was one of those, I was like, okay, I need to be at home, alone, and like in silence to watch this, because I was like, ooh, I started to, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to be like in a whole other kind of like mindset, because it was so super deep.
Right, exactly. Well, first of all, you need a box of Kleenex.
Yeah.
Okay. Be by yourself, expect to cry, because I cried the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, you have a son.
I have a son. Exactly. And the way that they did it, and I won't give anything away, but the way that they did the movie allowed you to see whatever your son looked like in the movie. So you could picture, if you have a son or a brother or a nephew, you could picture them in that scenario, in that situation. So it made it more real, and it was really deep. I loved it. I've always loved Kerry Washington anyway, and it was just very powerful. So amazing.
Well, the one of what I've seen, the one part that really said, Jorge, you need to like, right now it's not the time to watch it, you need to like set it all up so you can be there for yourself, was when the husband walks in and the police officer says, oh my gosh, she went from ghetto to, from
zero to ghetto.
From zero to ghetto. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you anymore. And I was like, ooh, I had to pump the brakes and be like, okay, I need to be like ready to watch this. Kia, like, you have a son.
I do have a son. I'm also on the wrong part of the script. Which movie are we talking about, or TV show? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We're talking about
American Son.
There's just so many, and we just started
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
Son.
going through this list of all these amazing black movies and TV shows coming. I'm like, wait a minute, some of these kind of match up with what are we talking about? I have not seen American Son on Netflix. My mom actually is very familiar with the play. I do want to watch it. I do get nervous as a mom of a brown child, especially a brown special needs child who isn't aware of some of these things. And I honestly couldn't even watch the Central Park 5 movie, because I'm like, that could be my kid, that could be my brother. So it's weird for me. But I will do my best to try to watch it when my whole family comes this weekend, so we'll take a look at it.
And then there's The Watchmen, which I'm in the
that is a good show.
Yeah.
But I was telling Jen, I need to go back and start all over again.
Yeah, I do too. I watched just the first one, and there was so much going on that I was completely lost. I loved how they portrayed a lot of history into it, which is great, because, we talk about how a lot of people didn't even realize some of the things that happen in our own history here in America. So that was really great. But, I thought...
Regina King.
But she was amazing. I didn't expect that from her or from that show. So when she came out being a total badass,
oh my goodness,
loved it.
I was like, yes. She's like, look, we all know everyone wants to talk about lollipops and rainbows, But at the end of the day, we all know the whole world is truly black and white.
Yes.
Kia.
First of all, the Watchmen movie and the Watchmen TV show are very loosely connected. I know a lot of people try to watch, like, well, why aren't they the same? It's because they're in two different situations, but they're in the same realm. I think this is a great role with Regina King. This woman can do no wrong when it comes to parts that she chooses, when she comes to acting. Now she out here being a ninja. It's great. Like, the history stuff are all parts of it. Like, no, for real though.
Right.
She's a ninja and she's doing stuff, and I think it's a great movie. I mean, it's a TV show, and I think it really is opening up people's eyes to a lot of historical stuff we didn't know about.
Right.
I mean, the Black Wall Street bombing alone kind of makes people say, like, well, okay, we complain about wanting reparations, but we have stuff like this, and then you blow it up. Then this is what we're talking about when we weren't talking about reparations. So I think it's a great show.
Exactly. Yeah, because we had our own back then. You know, we had our own businesses back then. You know, black people were really starting to come up and make money. We were selling to each other, buying from each other, and really building a community. So when that happened, when they bombed that area, it really put us back again to square one, having nothing and hiding and running and all those things. And it was pretty crazy.
What I also thought was interesting is that the police had to, hide, their identities.
Right.
Because, I mean, these people were like, the Nixonville residents.
Right.
They found out where you lived or where you were.
Yes.
And you were targeted. And, I mean, anyways, so creative, so, like, mind-blowing. You have to, like, watch it a few times.
Yeah.
Just like Harriet and the photograph, again.
Right.
Just wonderful roles and wonderful parts, and
Yeah.
black cinema is just amazing.
Right. I haven't seen Harriet yet. I've seen a lot of controversy. And I don't know which side I want to take yet with that. But I did hear a lot of good things about the movie itself and what it portrayed. But I also heard that there was some discrepancies in the true history of it versus what they portrayed in the movie. So I'm concerned about that.
But why do you think there's controversy between what the movie is portraying and what, historical facts state?
Well, so one of the things that I heard was that in the movie, they kind of show a lot of fighting between the black people and the slaves and so forth, trying to kind of taking away from what was happening between the white slave owners and what was going on in that culture. So again, because I haven't seen it, I don't know, but I am concerned that if they're pulling some of that away and putting almost blame on what was going on within the black people versus really where the blame should be, then that would be a big issue. So when I see it soon, I'll be able to make a better connection, but I'm not sure. Kia, did you see it?
Have I seen Harriet?
Yeah.
No, I have not seen it yet. My mother and aunt actually went last night to see it, and they thought it was amazing. They were really happy with it. And shout out to the actress who plays Harriet. Her name is Cynthia Erivo. She's super duper talented, and they're talking Oscar buzz for this movie. And I want to go see it, but again, a little cringy. But my mom said that it's not a lot of slave beatings or anything like that. It's really just about how the Underground Railroad was built, how Harriet came to be. And also shout out to Janelle Monáe, who's also has a really cool part in the movie as well.
Right, but now I heard some things about Cynthia, though. They said that she had a lot of bad things to say. She doesn't necessarily represent the black community, from what I'm hearing. She had some negative things to say about black Americans. So
because she's a black Brit.
Right, exactly. So she's not, not being a black American, maybe she doesn't understand, but a lot of people didn't like the fact that she got the role because of the way that she feels about black people. We
got to stop this. We have got to stop with the whole black Brit versus black American thing. It's a bunch of BS at this point. We are all black at this point. They had the same thing to say about the boy from Get Out. About why didn't it go to a black American? Does it matter? It's black representation. He looks like us. He may not sound like us, but he goes through the same crap that all of us go through. We have to stop this.
And I agree. I don't think it should matter, but if she was talking negatively about black Americans, then that would kind of sway my decision on how I feel about her being part of that movie. But I don't know all the details, so one of those things to really look into.
Listen, if you're out there and you're watching us and you have some details that we don't have, let us know because, I mean, that's what we're about. We got to get the the details on everything. Anyway, let's talk about the photograph, because it's not oftentimes that you see a beautiful black love story.
Yes, I know.
And
I
even
can't
showing
wait
like
to
a
see
little bit
it.
like a so,
Yes. Look, I love Issa Rae, okay? First of all, I love her. Oh my goodness, I would follow her to the moon and back. I think she's amazing, and the things that she plays in have just been so inspiring as a black woman. So it comes out, I believe, what, Valentine's Day?
yes, start making plans. Start making plans for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to see it. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Shout out to them making Lakeith Stanfield, instead of the goofy homeboy, he's actually like the sexy love interest.
Right.
Like, I'm all
That's
for
what
that.
I love.
I think this is amazing. This is giving me, remember Love Jones? This is giving me Love Jones vibe. This is going to be like that classic movie that you watch with your homegirls years in the line with a glass of wine.
And has it been that long
awesome.
since Love Jones? And we finally get the photo, like, really?
Yeah, it's been, what, 20 years?
Ugh.
It's crazy.
Has it been 20 years since Love Jones? Has it been longer than that?
We need
Love
more
Jones was
chocolate.
96.
More
Yeah, it's
chocolate.
been like
Everyone loves
20
chocolate. All right.
20-some
If you don't
years.
have chocolate, I got problems with you.
They also said this movie is supposed to have a lot of physical stuff between Lakeith and Issa. So I'm not sure. Again, this is not a family movie. Don't take your kids. Don't, this is just for the adults to play with.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
now, look, I'm going to go ahead and pre-order my tickets.
There we go. Well, you don't need to take it to watch Mocha in the morning. So thank you so very much, Miss Kicking It with Kia, our fabulous Mocha in the Morning contributor. And look at you, like in a grown woman chair.
Wait, we gotta talk about T.I.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not even going to talk about that. We got to save that.
Thank you. Look at me trying to cut it off.
Ooh,
But
I forgot about T.I.
I tried. I was going to keep it very family.
Let's do this. Let's go.
This is weird.
Listen, first of all, why in the world does he think it's okay to tell the world that he takes his daughter every year to check her hymen? Like, what? Borderline abuse to me, personally.
Look, I don't know what to say. I'm just going to say.
Okay, so since you don't know what to say, let the two women talk about this.
Yes,
He
I'm going
has
to let the ladies
a lot of
handle it.
nerve. He's taking his daughter to make sure her hymen is intact, but on the show, his son lost his virginity and he was laughing and thought it was cute. So what's with the double standard? If your son, who is only 16 or 17, is going to be out here having sex with young girls, then why is it not okay for your daughter to do that? And why do you think it's okay? A gynecologist appointment is already very, uncomfortable and weird. You have somebody sticking an entire arm in there trying to make sure you're good. So no one wants their parent in there, let alone their father in there. And he doesn't care about her sexual health. Like, okay, did she get a breast exam? Did she get this? Did she get that? You just want to make sure her hymen is still intact. What kind of barbarian are you?
Which is crazy because she's 18 years old. You know, I could almost understand if she was 14, but she's 18.
And also, to make a final point, the women, he said this on a podcast that was full of women. Not one of those raggedy heifers said one thing about, this seems weird, or are you sure you want to do this? They all laughed and joked and thought it was funny and thought it was cute. That is not cool as women, for us to sit there and let a man tell him how he can dictate his daughter's body. I'm not cool with none of the girls from the show.
And it's not a thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you can lose your hymen from all kinds of things. Gymnastics, horseback riding, just playing too rough with the boys. Anything could happen.
Well, I just certainly hope that he's just not trying to create some publicity, to renew another season of The Family Hustle, or maybe finance Tiny's next album. I don't know. I just hope that they're just not going that route just to kick up, some.
Well, if they are, it's working. But yeah, and speaking of Tiny, why is she allowing this as a woman? She's the mother. I would be like, no, you're not going to take my daughter to no daggone appointment. No, it's not going to happen. So Tiny, step your game up, girl.
Step it up or get off the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with Jen.
Yes.
And now can we go? Thank you so much, Kia.
Thanks,
Woo,
Kia.
that was
Bye,
heavy.
guys.
That was heavy. I was trying to get away with it, but I didn't.
Woo.
We'll be right back after this. I'm officially Jorge.
And I am Jen Dobson.
And this is your Mocha Minute. Check out these tracks that are dominating the R&B and hip hop charts.
And check out what's happening in Black cinema.
And these are all the fabulous and Mocha-inspired events that you should attend.
And this was your Mocha Minute.
Brought to you by Black in the Bay, keeping you connected to everything that's black in the Bay.
We want to dedicate this Mocha moment to our veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Dobson, and thank you for letting me host.
Yeah, I know, you're great. Look at you. Uh-oh. Better watch out.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much for watching Mocha in the Morning. Make sure you follow us, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Mocha Morning No G Show. That's at Mocha Morning Show. To follow all your Mocha moments, other hot topics, and steamers.
Yes.
It's a wrap for today.
It's a wrap.
Have a fabulous weekend and happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.